ask you a question real quick. What do you think your boss would do if you decided to call him up and just start blasting him, cussing him out, yelling, screaming, calling him names, questioning whether or not he's a good leader, and all this other nonsense? Talking about being upset because so-and-so got a promotion, you didn't. What do you think your boss would do to you if you were in a part of a company and you went to the CEO, the chief executive officer, and you started doing these things, calling them, going in their office without invitation, physically attacking him or your boss, or if it's a whatever? How do you think they would respond? Ask yourself this question. Well, you'd be thrown out of the office, you'd be fired, you would be removed from your position, possibly jailed, depending on what you did. You know, no CEO is going to put up with that nonsense. No CEO that respects himself. But yet, many of you men out there, many of us men, in fact, most men, we put up with all that nonsense all the time. We let women disrespect us, talk down to us, belittle us, attack us physically, emotionally. We let women do these things because we have been told by society, by culture, that this is our responsibility. That we are to subject ourselves to the women in our lives because they are queens. They are princesses. And we have an obligation to serve their needs. No, this is not the way it is. And this is not the way it can be. It's time for us men to put these women on notice. And this is not in a bad way. This is not aggressive. This is not meant to be personal or hurt feelings. But the thing is, you have to remember, you are a CEO. You are a king. Kings. You have a company to run, an organization. And that is whatever your company is. Eddie Incorporated, Eddie LLC, John LLC, Jason LLC, Tyrone Incorporated, right? You have a company that you are running. What are companies? Companies they function specific roles in society. They exchange in commerce. They provide services and products to other people in exchange for monetary gain, for other benefits. People come in and out of that company to interact and play different roles in the organization. And this is not just for the women in our lives, gentlemen. This is for everyone in our lives. See, you have to remember, and everybody needs to remember this. Men have to achieve their value in society, right? Men have to get on their grind. They have to have the successful business. They have to have money in the bank. They have to be grinding all the time. In the gym, 4 or 5 days a week at least. Taking care of your body, taking care of your mind. You have to be grinding. You have to have they call them the 6 6s. 6-pack abs, 6-figure income, 600 horsepower vehicle. There's a couple other 6s out there. There's 6, you can go down the list. You have to have all these boxes checked. Like everything, all these boxes checked. Just to be able to show up and get respect. Right? Just to be able to walk into a bar and at least be noticed. You got to have all this in point. Women, it's not like that. Women are born with their value from birth. Women are praised for their beauty from the point that they are just little girls. Praised for their beauty, right? And now what do you see in modern society? Women are being worshipped in this world. Worshipped by men. Don't believe me? Look at OnlyFans. Look at this nonsense. Grown men. Look at sugar babies. Grown men so desperate for a woman's attention that they will submit tithes and offerings, giving them money, shelling out free dinners, free lunches, free drinks, just for a little bit of attention from a woman. This is worship. This is worship of women. And this is what we have turned society into. But the problem here is that when you do those things, you diminish yourself. You diminish what the work that you have to do on yourself. When you are giving out all these things, all these benefits to all these different people coming in and out of your company, your organization, but you're not getting anything in return, what will happen? What will happen if a company spends more money than it brings in? Eventually the company will fail. Eventually the company will not succeed. Eventually the company will go belly up. See, women, on the other hand, they are born with this for innate. They don't have to work for this. They don't have to. A woman in their early 20s or so, as long as they are in moderately good shape, I mean, they could still be a 2 or 3, and they still have all these opportunities, right? And it's the same thing when we go out and about. If a woman goes to a bar, let's face facts. A woman can walk into any bar or any venue, and she could literally point at any guy in that venue, as long as he is not there with his girlfriend, and well, sometimes with the girl. She could literally point at any guy and say, hey, buddy, take me home. And 9 times out of 10, he'll close his tab out and they'll go off if she wanted to. I'm not saying most women want to do this, but I'm saying this is the reality. For men, you gotta have your car on point, your clothes on point. You gotta be showing status, watches, shoes. You have to have the right swagger. You have to have all the right things. You have to buy the right drinks for the right person. You have to do all these different things, and you'll be lucky to walk away with a phone number. And by the way, even if you get the number, 9 times out of 10, it's not a real number, or if you message him or call them, you're not going to get a response back. Why? Because women are worshipped. They're worshipped for their beauty. They don't have to bring anything else to the table in society. And gentlemen, it's time to start expecting more for the people who come in our organization. No more can you just have benefits packages for different people, but not have any job responsibilities or duties. And you can hold people to this responsibility. The days of accepting disrespect and this kind of stuff, that's done, guys. That's done. You cannot run a successful company with that. Letting get run over by women, get run over by people who come in and out of your company, friends. You can't. You have to raise your standard of expectations. You have to see yourself for what you are. You bring the value. You are going to be the one at the end of the day who are going to be expected to make the ultimate sacrifice as a man. And I've talked about this before in my other videos. Don't believe me? Imagine being on the Titanic. You, your wife, and your child are there on the Titanic, and it's the final lifeboat, and they say, hey, we only have room for 2. What are you gonna do, King? You gonna leave your wife or your kid on that boat so you can get on the lifeboat and be saved? It doesn't work that way. As a man, at the end of the day, setting equality aside, you are going to be required to make the ultimate sacrifice. And if you're going to be required to make those sacrifices, if you're going to be required to pay the piper, as they say, then you need to have some job responsibilities that come with that for the people who are getting those benefits. You know, you don't come work for a company and say, you just started for a company and say, hey, I want to go ahead and get my bonus. I want to go ahead and get those days off I'm supposed to get. No. Those are benefits that are earned over time in the company. So you come and work in an organization, and every hour you put in, or every week that you work there, you get some added perks. Maybe you get some shares in the company, or maybe you get some time off, or you get these kinds of things, right? So many of you are operating your organizations in such a way that people can just come in, get all the benefits, and then they just can leave. Like I said, what happens when an organization or company is spending more than they're bringing in? It's going to go upside down. And so many men are just wandering through life, miserable, suffering, and pain. And they don't understand why. They don't understand why am I going through this? Why can't I make traction in my life? Well, you can't make traction because you're putting everyone else ahead of yourself. You need to flip that script, and now you need to put yourself first above all other people. Everyone. You need to put your business number one. And guess what? If you'll do that, other people will see it and say, let me go ahead and apply for this company. I see this company is doing well financially. They're doing well. They're doing amazing things in the world, making the world a better place. I see the value in this company. Let me go ahead and try to put an application in. Right? But even then, you don't just give people positions. So many of you guys are so desperate to let people walk all over you. You're so desperate that you just let people do whatever they want to do. It reminds me of a job I had one time. Company was really looking for help, needed help. I applied, worked, and then got a job there. It was orientation day, and I was supposed to be there 8:30. Well, to be honest, I wasn't really feeling it. I had been out partying the night before, hanging out, and I woke up late. And I remember calling them and saying, hey, I'm just going to be late. I don't think this is going to work out. They said to me, they're like, oh, well, just come in whenever you can. I never forgot. I got there 2 hours late for orientation. So they set up a whole special orientation thing for me so I could do it. Oh, and then I told them I had to leave early. And they still, no problems. Why? Because they were desperate. They were so desperate that they were willing to let me walk all over them. Don't be like that, kings. Don't be like that in your life. Don't be so desperate that you're going to let anybody do anything to you. You need to be in control of your company. You are the CEO of your company. You cannot tolerate people coming in trying to take benefits without taking any responsibility. Every position in your life needs to have a job description. When it comes to your dating, you have side chick, main chick, girlfriend, wife. These are all positions, right? And each one of those positions have apprenticeship programs, tryouts. So what you need to do is you need to begin putting people into those apprenticeship programs. Stop just putting them in the positions just because they applied. You need to have more respect for yourself. See, the world has got men convinced that we need women in order to function. That happy wife, happy life. But truth be told, it's the other way around. It's happy man. They don't actually have a saying for that, but truth be told, it's us men that bring the real value. It's us men who bring the sacrifice. As I already said, at the end of the day, it's going to be you that's going to be required for the ultimate sacrifice. And you can have any arrangement you want to with your girl. You can have her paying for all of your meals, have her paying for all your clothes, shoes. But at the end of the day, it's you who are going to be held responsible. and held accountable for your actions and for the act and what happens in the company. It's you. And part of becoming a red-pilled, masculine, feminist man who understands that we are equal but not. To be able to get to that place, you have to begin to respect yourself. You have to respect your company and what your company's goals and values are, and you have to live that out. And you cannot tolerate anything less than optimal performance. And sometimes you need to be willing to go ahead and give somebody a demotion. Ask yourself, if I were the CEO of my company and I was being treated this way, would I accept it? More specifically, if I was a CEO of a successful company, would I accept this treatment? And if the answer is no, she's got to go. You can fire her, demote her, put her on unpaid time off. And you can be straight up with these women and just say, look, baby, I've got an organization to run. I've got a team. You're applying for this position. And you can pull out a piece of paper and say, I thought, if I remember correctly, you're applying for the girlfriend position, but the girlfriend position doesn't have these particular benefits that you're asking for. All right? So maybe we need to put you in a different position, a janitor position, side chick, main chick, whatever it is. Those positions might be better suited for you. And don't be afraid to stand up for yourself. Don't be afraid to put yourself first, because it's only once you get yourself in order and you put your priorities in order and you put yourself first and you build a successful company that you can then turn around and help other people. Until you do that, you'll never be able to help anybody. You won't be able to help yourself. So I hope you appreciate it. I hope you like the content of this video. Please like and subscribe to this channel if you've got value out of it. Share it with a friend. If you have ideas for other content, please put it in the description below. Have a great day.